Geography 3, Patterns in Physical Geography. Geographers divide the physical environment into spheres. The non-living environment defines what is possible for life. The environment impacts humanity, and humanity impacts the environment. The spheres. The spheres of geography include the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. Lithosphere. The lithosphere refers to the mineral world. Lithos is Greek for stone. The lithosphere includes mountain soil, rocks, oil, natural gas, metals, and the molten core of the earth. Hydrosphere. The hydrosphere refers to the waters of Earth. The hydrosphere includes the ocean, seas, rivers, lakes, streams, and all bodies of water. Atmosphere. The atmosphere is the gaseous part of the environment. The atmosphere is composed of many gases such as nitrogen, oxygen, and water vapor. Biosphere. The biosphere is a living part of the environment. Bios is the Greek word for life. The biosphere includes plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, and other living things. The Earth and Sun. Heliophysics is a science of studying the Sun and the interaction with the Earth and the rest of the solar system. Helios is the Greek word for sun. The sun provides the energy for life on Earth. Without the sun, everything on Earth would die. Reasons for the seasons. Why does Earth experience seasons? The Earth is tilted on its axis relative to the sun. The hemisphere tilted toward the sun experiences summer. The other hemisphere is in winter at that time. Earthquakes. Earthquakes may affect the distribution of mass in the Earth. According to NASA's Brian Dunbar, a massive earthquake in Japan changed the length of Earth's day, shortening it by 1.8 milliseconds. Hurricanes. Hurricanes are caused by the interaction of the sun, oceans, and atmosphere. The sun heats the waters in the tropics. The rising warm water vapor meets cool air and condenses into clouds and rain. High-altitude winds interact with the rising water vapor in a positive feedback loop that results in increasing wind speed and a storm. A positive feedback loop is when one thing increases something else, which in turn increases the first thing. Monsoon. A monsoon is a seasonal weather pattern. Winds blow one direction for part of the year and then reverse. This results in a rainy season and a dry season. In the American Southwest, high pressure from the tropics forces warm, moist air into the Rocky Mountains, where it meets cooler air, causing thunderstorms. The Indian monsoon is similar. Warm water vapor from the Indian Ocean moves up on the Indian subcontinent, meeting cooler air and bringing rain. The word monsoon technically refers to the change of winds, but is commonly used to refer to the resulting rain. Tornadoes. Tornadoes begin to form before thunderstorms occur. A change in wind direction starts an invisible horizontal or sideways shaft of air spinning in the lower atmosphere. Rising air in the thunderstorm pulls the shaft of air into a vertical or upright position. The area of rotation is 2 to 6 miles wide. Tornadoes, hail, and powerful straight-line winds occur in and around this area of rotation. Processes that shape the physical environment. Some physical processes shape the physical environment over the long term. These include extreme weather, plate tectonics, glaciers, circulation patterns in the atmosphere and the hydrosphere, and the El Nino-La Nina patterns, also called the Enso cycle. Long-range effects of extreme weather. Extreme weather, while dangerous in the short term, may also have long-range effects. For example, Hurricane Katrina not only caused death and destruction in 2005, but also damaged the barrier islands that protect the Gulf Coast from past hurricanes. Therefore, future hurricanes may prove even more devastating. Plate tectonics. Plate tectonics, the motion of the plates that form the Earth's crust over the molten interior, creates the lithosphere that people experience. Pressure between plates moving together creates earthquakes. Over millennia, plate collisions form mountain ranges. Glaciers. Glaciers are enormous rivers of ice made from snow. The snow falls over time and packs in to, for example, a valley and a mountain, and that turns into a glacier. Glaciers expand during ice ages, covering the polar region and extending over continents and oceans. They lock away water, resulting in lower sea levels. This is why, during the last ice age, you could walk from England to France. There was no North Sea. There was a North Valley. Glaciers retreat during periods of global warming. The retreat of glaciers forms lakes and erodes mountain ranges. Ocean and atmospheric circulation. Circulation in the air and water of the Earth changes the environment over the long term. The winds create the surface currents of the oceans. The release of heat stored in the ocean drives the winds. The movement of air and water causes erosion of soil and stone, gradually wearing down mountains and carving canyons. The El Nino Southern Oscillation, or ENSO. The El Nino Southern Oscillation, or ENSO cycle, is the change in the temperature in the eastern Pacific near the equator. You can see a map at the bottom here showing the El Nino intensity, and that's just mostly off the coast of Ecuador, South America there. El Nino, Spanish for the boy, and La Nina, Spanish for the girl, are the warm and cold phases of the ENSO cycle. The ENSO cycle occurs over 2 to 7 years. El Nino events are more frequent than La Nina events. Each lasts 9 to 12 months. El Nino causes the U.S. Gulf Coast to experience wetter weather. La Nina causes the southern U.S. to have warmer winters. Long-range effects of erosion on agriculture. Farmers depend on topsoil to grow crops. The nutrients needed by the crops are in the soil. Poor farming practices in the past caused soil erosion, leading to the Dust Bowl of the 1930s. Soil conservation is necessary to maintain the food supply of the world. Long-range effects of typhoons on coastal ecosystems. Typhoons are hurricanes that happen in the western Pacific Ocean. Hurricanes and typhoons destroy coastal ecosystems through coastal erosion. Salt water from the ocean is swept into coastal wetlands, killing the vegetation holding the soil together with its roots. Aquatic species consumed by people as seafood may depend on habitats destroyed by coastal erosion. Picture plants and their roots as arms and hands, holding together the soil. When the plants are killed and the roots rot away, the soil is released to fall back into the ocean, to wash out to sea. Ecosystems and biomes. Ecosystems vary from place to place and over time. Ecosystem is defined as the organisms and their environment in a given area. So it includes the living things and the non-living things. Biome is defined as a type of ecosystem such as rainforest, grassland, or tundra. And of course, in Minecraft, there are biomes. Some of those are real, some of them not. But you go into a broad area, it has a certain type of life, a certain type of climate, certain type of things living there. That's a biome. Soil. Soil changes in an ecosystem. Arable or farmable soil is created as living things live and die on the land, or rivers deposit soil rich in decomposing matter on the land through flooding or changing course. Early humans used fire to make land more fertile and to suppress undesirable plant growth. They would burn off the plants in an area, and that would make the land better for farming. Failure to rotate crops or leave land fallow degrades the land and allows wind to carry away good topsoil. Taking care of the soil is important. If we fail to do that, we have another dust bowl. Climate. Climate changes over time. 716 million years ago, the equator was covered in ice during a period called Snowball Earth. During the Permian period, which was 299 to 251 million years ago, the continents were together in a large mass called Pangaea. The climate was extreme, ranging from freezing at night to over 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. Climate changes over time. Humans survived the Ice Age of the Pleistocene epoch and have endured climate change throughout the current Holocene epoch. The medieval warm period, 9th to 13th centuries, saw higher temperatures improve crop yields in Europe. The Little Ice Age that followed motivated fur traders to explore North America. Today's climate is the warmest in 1,200 years. Carbon emissions by humans are commonly blamed for the current global warming. Elevation changes because of natural and human causes. Natural causes of elevation change include erosion, both gradual and sudden. Flooding may wash out gullies in a matter of hours. Strip mining removes the surface of the earth to access minerals. Floods. Floods may quickly change the landscape. Flooding may destroy property, kill people and animals, and cause erosion. However, flooding near coastal wetlands brings needed fresh water and prevents coastal erosion by saving freshwater aquatic plants. Forest fires. Fire is a natural part of many ecosystems. Forest fire prevention efforts, while well intended, may backfire if the buildup of fuel leads to more intense fires rather than more manageable fires. Controlled burning is used in some places to prevent the worst fires. Reduction of species diversity due to loss of natural habitats. Species specialize in living in certain environments. The sudden loss of these environments kills off species dependent on that environment. For example, the loss of Louisiana's wetlands may result in the loss of some species that humans consume as seafood. Many species that live at sea start their life in the wetlands. They spawn there, they hatch there, they then swim out to sea when they're large enough to survive at sea. Without a spawning ground, those species die out. They have nowhere to lay their eggs, nowhere to start their life cycle. Reduction of wetlands due to replacement by farms. Some wetlands have been replaced by farms as farmers drain the swamps and convert them to fields. While this increases the amount of arable land, it decreases the wetland environment available to some species. Reduction of forest and farmland due to replacement by housing developments. Forests and farms are sometimes replaced by housing, commercial, and industrial development as people build new homes, businesses, and factories. The unplanned growth of cities is called urban sprawl. Reduction of previously cleared land due to reforestation efforts. Some cleared land is being returned to forest. Landowners may plant fields and pine trees as long-term investments. Environmentalist groups may pay some landowners or purchase land to return to forest. This is something that's often done in the Amazon. An environmentalist group might buy some land in the Amazon to keep it as rainforest rather than let it be developed into farmland or housing. Geographic issues resulting from human and natural processes. Geographic issues result from human and natural processes such as the increase or decrease in population, changes in tropical forest, and tsunamis. Population change. Population growth, spurred by the availability of antibiotics and a more reliable and plentiful food supply, has vastly expanded the number of people in the world and therefore the demand for resources. However, the development of birth control and the movement from farm to city has caused population growth to end in many developed nations. Populations leveled off. They grew high, but then they stopped growing because people moved to the city where they didn't need a lot of children to help work the farm. Birth control was available, so there were fewer children in families. Tropical forest. The world depends on tropical forests such as the Amazon in Brazil for part of the oxygen in the atmosphere. Many species depend on the tropical forest to survive. Some of these species may have medicinal properties or possess genetic traits that could be useful to scientists. Many acres of tropical forest are cleared every year to make way for human development. Tsunamis. Tsunamis are massive waves. These are sometimes called tidal waves, but that's not the correct term. Tsunamis are triggered by underwater earthquakes. Tsunamis are powerful, destructive forces. In addition to the immediate damage, they cause coastal erosion that makes affected areas even more vulnerable in the future. In conclusion, geographic patterns in the environment that result from processes when the atmosphere, biosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere of Earth's system affect the world.